Hey guys, it's Juan again from Physique Transformation Academy, and today I want to chat with you guys about training back. The back can be very complex to train. The reason being, there's a lot of muscles in the back, and when we're training, we can't see them. So you have to go completely by feel. Now, we have muscles like the lats, the teres, the traps, the rhomboids, and the erectors. Those are going to be the main muscles of the back that are going to be able to grow a lot in order to display a big back for whether you want to look great for the beach and have an awesome V-taper, or if you're a competitor looking to get a big, awesome back. So let's chat about lats. The main job of the lat is to bring the elbow down and into the body and almost around. So now that we learned that, we can know how we can bias a pull down or a row in order to target the lats. Now, one of the main isolation exercises for lats are going to be pullovers. Sometimes you'll see people doing a dumbbell pullover or a rope pullover like this. And even though these can be good exercises, in reality, I don't feel like they're great for actual mass building. For mass building, it's going to be all about the pull downs or pull-ups and the rows. So let me show you guys a little bit about how you can bias a lat pull down and a barbell row for lats. Okay guys, so what we're going to see here is with the function, as I was saying, of the lats being out in front of you and coming down, bringing your elbow and your hands down towards the body. To bias your lats in a pull down, you want to start from a stretch position and you want to keep the elbows out in front of you, and it's almost like you're pulling down in front of you and feeling it. You're almost pulling down to your upper abs. Then you come up with the elbows out in front of you, get that big stretch, and start again with the elbows out in front of you. Squeeze, come up. Squeeze, come up. In a row, I'm giving you guys as an example a barbell row, but it could literally be a machine row or a dumbbell row. Same thing. To bias the lats more, you want to keep the elbows nice and tight to your side, and you want to bring that bar up and squeeze and come down. So the bar stays really close to your body, and it's almost like you're driving the hands and elbows down your body and back. So we just learned how to bias your lats on a pull down or a row. Main function is going to be keep the elbows out in front of you slightly, keep the elbows nice and tight to your body, and it's almost like an arc type motion, whether you're rowing or you're doing a pull down. Now, what if you want to bias the traps and the rhomboids more for that nice big upper back? Well, if we do that, we now want to think of elbow position being a little bit differently. Instead of keeping the elbows nice and tight by your side like this, you want to leave the elbows out more, and you want to be able to retract the scapula. As opposed to leaving the scapula protracted like that and beginning a pull down or a row from that position, we now want to pull the scapula back first and then follow through as we really contract that upper back hard. So now let me show you guys what a pull down would look like and what a row would look like if your goal is to bias the upper back more, meaning the traps, the rhomboids. Okay guys, so to bias your upper back more, we're gonna retract the upper back first, and we're gonna leave the elbows out and squeeze that upper back hard. I'm pulling closer now towards my chest or almost my neck, and I'm squeezing that hard. Open it up, retract, come down, squeeze. Open it up, come down, squeeze. Here on the barbell row, we're going to lean forward as opposed to pulling nice and tight to your body and keeping the elbows in. Now we're going to keep the elbows out. We're going to bend over a little bit more. We're going to pull out more towards the upper abs and squeeze. Retract the scapula, squeeze. Retract the scapula, squeeze. Now, the last major part of training the back is going to be the erectors. That's going to be that nice thickness, especially in the lower back area that you're going to be able to get. And now there's one major way to get this, and it's going to be by bending over. So you could do something like a hyperextension, or my personal favorite is going to be You can do a good morning as well. My personal favorite is going to be a stiff leg deadlift. Putting weight on the floor, bending over, picking it up, bending over as far as you can. So with this being able to stabilize your back against this heavy weight and keeping it nice and tight as you come up is really going to be able to build that erector. Now, a lot of people will do rack pulls, for example. Although rack pulls can be a useful exercise, the upright position of starting to lift much higher doesn't put as much strain on the erectors as completely bending over. I'm going to show you guys. As I was mentioning, if you're doing a rack pull, you want to keep everything nice and tight. But if you're only stopping around here, look how much I'm bending over. Not a ton. So even though this will be working the back in many different ways through that static hold with heavy weight, you're not putting as much stress on the erectors as you could be. Whereas on a stiff leg deadlift, this is what's going to happen. You're starting now from here. Now with that, as you see how much I'm bending over, we're putting a ton of strain on the erectors. We grip everything nice and tight. Come on. Everything nice and tight. Come on. Nice and tight. Bend over. Come on. So guys, we just learned the 3 main movements in order to be able to build a solid back. Once you are able to understand and recognize how these different movement patterns affect different muscles, now you can focus on your specific weaknesses. You may say, hey, I have a great upper back, I have great traps and rhomboids, but my lat's really lacking. That's why I don't have much of a V-taper. Awesome. Start paying attention to how you're doing your pull downs and your rows and have some that are more lat biased. If you say, hey, I got great lats, I got great traps and rhomboids, but my erector's really lacking. That lower back area is just not there. Start bending over, picking heavy stuff up with proper form, or doing hyperextensions, for example. That's what's really going to help build those erectors. So guys, remember, when you're training your back, it's not just about mindlessly moving weight or about mindlessly doing exercises, it's about how you're doing them and how elbow position and scapular position is going to affect this. If you pay attention to your training and then you start using the 4 pillars that I always talk about, which are going to be things like intensity, form, mind-muscle connection, and then heavy weight on top of that, you're going to be sure to see some amazing gains. If you need help with any of this stuff, please feel free to DM me. DM me, it's free. I also have a coaching program that you can apply to, and in there, I'm going to take you step by step in order to build the best possible physique you can have. Have a great day, guys, and let me know how this works out for you.